Hey guys, TNG Nubian Princess here, back at you, to you again, at you again, whatever, you get it. So, it was requested by one of my subscribers to do a quick video on how I overcame dun, 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 depression. First and foremost, I still deal with it. Yes, there are times when things in life have me put me in a depressed place. So it is continuous. It's a continuous struggle. It's a continuous thing to battle. But I will tell you personally things that I have done to overcome some of my experiences. So I'll let you know, all of you guys know about some of the things I've been through, the depressed space that it put me in, and how I kind of bounced back from it. And sometimes they took a little bit of time. So, first and foremost, I had a lot of like depressed times in my childhood. I think part of overcoming that meant removing myself from my environment. And so that's where college came in, and I took off and I tried to go as far as I could without going too far. I stayed within the state because I was trying to get out the state, and then I realized outside of state tuition ain't for my pockets because I ain't got no pockets. I got nothing in it. So I stayed in the state and went about 4 5 hours away to school. And from there, I developed some really great bonds with some really great females. But I did suffer off and on some depression while at college. I think first upon entering college, I did enter with my high school sweetheart. We then God had a rough patch. We split. It was an off and on thing for a while. But because I entered with my high school sweetheart, I had these dreams of grandeur where it'd be us together forever. I was young and naive. But that was my best friend. I confided in him. Everything was me and him. But once we got to college, that kind of changed, and he wanted to explore different things and potentially different people. And that left me in a place where, like I said, I didn't like making new friends. I kind of kept to myself whoever I was comfortable with, I was comfortable with. And at that point, it was just him. So it pushed me out my comfort to now form new friendships with people that I wasn't really close with. So I went through EOP, that's the Equal Opportunity Program at my college, and we get there about the summer before the actual semester starts. So during that time, while everybody was kind of bonding with each other, I was kind of like introverted to myself and feeling depressed because I'm no longer really with this person that I thought I was probably going to spend the rest of my life with. And I didn't take that opportunity for most of that summer to really create some bonds. Yes, I knew some of the girls. So the time after that, oh, this ain't even straight. I did create bonds with the females, especially as the years went on. And these girls kind of became like this for me. And they were my sanity in getting through school because school has always been a tough thing for me. I was not one of those females or one of those people that I go to school and everything's so easy. I'm busting out these grades. Nope, I'm the girl that got bust her butt to remember anything. I still can't remember nothing, guys. Let's be honest. I can't remember diddly squat. Sometimes I don't remember what I did yesterday or today. Let's be. But any which ways, back to what I'm saying. So school wasn't easy for me. It was always a struggle even before I got to college, and not I wouldn't say it was necessarily the workload. It was just that school wasn't easy for me. Comprehending things, the way I intake is not how everybody else intakes. I'm just like a multi-learner. Like sometimes I'm a visual learner, like auditory learner, sensory. I just learn different ways from different people. So the uniformity of what school is and how you're supposed to receive information is not how I always got it. So I had to maneuver my own way, and I struggled. I struggled a lot, and I felt like a failure at school. I felt like I wasn't smart enough, and it looked like it came so much easier to the wonderful women around me, but they were busting their butts too. Um, they're smart and they're gorgeous. We all are. But, to me, I was looking at it, I was like, yo, I'm so struggling. I didn't know if I was going to make it. Honestly, my senior year, I was this close to quitting. I think I was in maybe my either first semester or the last semester. I can't recall correctly. And I hit like bottom. I was like, I'm done. I'm giving up. What's the point of this? If you and I don't remember who I had the conversation with. It might have been one of my best friends, and was just like, you know what? You're almost there. You almost done. You ain't spent like the last 3 years and change and just to give up. Like you too close to quit now. Like you're just too close. And just so y'all know, throughout this whole thing of going to school, I was working 2 jobs and taking care of my dad back down where I was from. And because he is older man, right now he is 89 years of age. And then he was having surgeries and things like that. So I'm trying to balance 2 jobs, school, my dad, hold him somewhat financially, make sure he's okay because he's diabetic. He's having these surgeries on his eyes and whatever. That at this point I had to leave school to go and tend to him, go back, trying to catch up on finals and all these things. And it was a lot. It was a lot for a young woman like myself who was trying to navigate life. So I found myself in some bad spaces while there. But like I said, I had people that I could turn to, even though I didn't utilize them all the time the way I should have, because I have dope female friends and I should have been utilizing them like crazy, but I wasn't because one, I was probably ashamed, and two, I never want to feel like a burden to anyone, so I really didn't bring all that to them because I know they were going through their own things, their own struggles, and I didn't want to be like that one that be like, oh, she always complaining, she always they don't want to deal with that, even though I know this is not what they think. But honestly, those were thoughts in my head, so I really had to remember to get out and enjoy myself. Burying my head in the books all the time was not beneficial for me because it just made me more depressed and more frustrated in my learning capabilities of the material. So I found that me hanging out with my girls, whether we're going to parties, we're doing our own thing together in the suites or in my apartment, and just enjoying ourselves and just enjoying life, was it for me. Like, I had to find solace in my girls to keep me afloat. Because if I didn't, I don't know where I would have been. I just don't know. So I thank my college girls and my best friends that were back home that helped keep me afloat. Just floating, man. Because I couldn't have made it without them. And also with the support of my dad, because my dad was very supportive. And at the time, one of the sisters that I was talking to, she was very supportive. We don't speak at the moment, but when we did speak was during my college, when we really bonded was during my college years. And I enjoyed that closeness. Like, I thrived on that closeness. I'm like, yeah, I got my sister, I'm surrounded by these girls, and that made everything really possible for me. It's like when you have people in your corner rooting for you, and even if you fail and you slip, and they backing you, they there to support you because they love you. So I'm telling you that tight group knit of people is everything when you feeling down sometimes. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I didn't turn to them all the time. Sometimes I really had to look within myself and figure out what is it that I wanted and do I want to go down this path. Because I think we all know and very conscious of when we're slipping down that very sad slope that's going to lead into depression. Okay? So once you find yourself sliding down that, you take heed. I ain't gonna lie to you, take heed, because what's gonna happen if you don't stop yourself at some point, however you gotta stop yourself, if it means taking yourself on a date by yourself, eating your favorite thing, buying you a little retail, something to stop yourself in that track. You need to put an obstacle in that track so you're not just sliding headfirst down that slope, because not a pretty picture, people. Not a pretty picture. So my next big bout of depression really hit me when I moved to Philly to be with staying with my sister, because things weren't working out here. I think what had happened is that, one of my best friends was getting married, and or she was about to get married like in the upcoming year, so she wanted to situate herself financially, and of course I understood that, but we were living together, so what that ended up doing was put me in a place financially where I couldn't really afford anywhere, and then the person that I was with, who I was supposed to be moving in with, decided to back out on me last minute, and it was like right around my birthday. I think it was like my 27th birthday or something. And it was just like that I felt like I was kind of like losing the place that I was, was kind of like home. Well, it was my home because the only place I had to call home. And then I also felt like, I guess I was sort of kind of losing my best friend just a little bit. But more importantly, and then not even more importantly, but also then the person I was with that I had known since childhood just decided that they were going to create all these unnecessary arguments, or, whatever it was, because they didn't want to address what was really going on, and then kind of dipped on me. So what the next level with me and this person was supposed to be never happened, which left me, again, like I said, financially in a space that I couldn't afford to be in the city that I lived in. So I did turn to my sister. This is the one who I got close to in college, more so close to in college, and end up going there. I really didn't want to go there, not because I don't love her or like, my family. That's not it. It's just that everything for me was in my city, and I didn't want to leave, but I felt like I was being forced through the circumstances to be removed. Like the person I thought I was supposed to, again, be with, who I thought had my back, dipped on me very last minute. I mean, last minute. And, the place that was like home was like no longer home. And I was just like, I don't like sudden change. Most of the times I don't like change like that unless it's something I've been prepping and preparing for. So to be with that just sent me into a spiral. So I think that birthday, I spent a lot of time drinking. I ain't gonna lie to you. I drank. I went out by myself to places and I drank. I probably know people who were promoting there, so I'd be in the vicinity, but I just go out and I was literally drowning myself with liquor because I didn't want to face what was coming, which was me having to leave. And really nothing that I could do about it. So I left. And that's where my downward spiral occurred. It started happening before I actually left. So so I went to Philly, and then from Philly, being there, due to no one's fault, it was just how I was feeling, and my depression was just gaining speed. I mean, gaining it. I just felt so useless. I felt so worthless, in attempts to trying to find a job. And, when I did find a job, it just really wasn't for me. And I get that sometimes they're like, just stick it out. But when your energy and your everything is like, don't do it. Don't do it. If it's just not for you, it's not for you. Don't get me, and mind you, I don't have no other real responsibility aside from myself and like my pops, but it was just something within me that I couldn't do, even though, somebody from the outside looking at me and be like, oh, you was a fool, probably like you was a fool for not just continuing to work there. I just couldn't do it. So that particular job I just couldn't do. It just wasn't sitting right on me. So I couldn't hold it down. I'm not going to lie to you. And I let it go, which helped me feel that much better. But overall, still that slippery slide into depression. And it got really bad. It was to the point that I gave pretty much nearly all my money to my sister in regards for, I guess, compensation for having me stay there, to the point that I was pretty much left with very little. And the reason I did that, even though, people were like, oh, you probably shouldn't, is that I didn't want to feel like I was there and not contributing, because she does have kids. So I didn't want to feel like I was taking food from her or the kids. Like, I want to feel like I was taking, taking from them, taking something out their mouth. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because I don't roll that way. I'm so giving that for me, I don't know how to let somebody give to me and receive sometimes. And that is a flaw of mine. So for that, it just felt terrible. And then when I couldn't give anymore like that, I felt even worse. So again, one thing on top of the other, on top of the other, you don't even, like, it was just bad. The little thing that gave me any peace of mind was literally getting my nails done. I don't know what it is about getting my nails done. It just makes me feel pretty. It makes me feel like a person. Yes, girl. Yes, hunty. So I love doing my nails. So there was a nail salon around the corner. Whatever I could scrap up, I go do my nails. It didn't cost very much. They were very cheap. And that was the only thing that I would do to make me feel just a tad bit better. But I wasn't eating. To say that I ate once a day would be half accurate. So I dropped a lot of weight because I wasn't consuming food. I was not good to myself. I was beating up on myself. I wasn't eating, and this was by choice, because I could have eaten what my sister had in the home. But like I said, I felt so guilty being there and not really being able to contribute. How dare I? I felt like, how dare I take from her? I need to be doing for me. I can't take from her and the kids. Not that it was really like taking, but that's how I saw it. And I'm like, I can't do that to her. How dare I? What type of person are you to come here and it's almost like looking for handouts? Because that's not how I was raised. I was raised that you gotta be independent, you gotta depend on yourself, you gotta be sufficient, all this stuff. And everything I was raised to be, I wasn't at my potential. And because even though it was family and I was at my potential, I beat the crap out of myself. I beat up on myself. I felt, and then the connection between me and my sister kind of like grew further and further apart because of my depression and because whatever she was going through, we weren't seeing eye to eye. And the times I would try to reach out, it wasn't really like she was getting it. And why I was reaching out, because I think she expected something different than I was providing, and I couldn't provide it. And I tried telling her that in a letter at one point, but it didn't really get us anywhere. But like I said, we were both going through our things, and my depression was at the worst it has ever been in my life at that point. Like, I've never felt so low, so useless, so anything. And all I kept contemplating after a while was that the world would be a better place. My family would be fine. My friends would be fine if I was just dead. Because right now, I'm of no use to anyone here. And I just wanted God to just take my life and end it, because I was just over it. I was just over being this feeling and being this like useless being under someone's roof, even though someone was my sibling. But that's how I felt. So I was literally like praying for God to just stop my heart, make sure I don't wake up, because how could one person be so useless? No job, no this. Yes, okay, I have a degree, but that's not getting me anywhere. And they don't tell you that shit when you go to school. Oh, they make it seem like you guaranteed a job. You gonna make the money. BS. Okay, I got the bachelor's and money wasn't coming in. Not the way they would make you think it was supposed to work. So I just felt so bad. And I'm like, I got a dad who depends on me, and I can't provide for him financially the way I want. And the little bit of money he has, he's trying to use to help me in what little ways. And I refuse to really touch it. And so I'm literally eating maybe once a day, and I would find something to drink. I would find, not all the time, but if I could and I could spare it, I'd go and get me them Thotteritas. You know what I'm talking about. Them Thotteritas, and I would just douse them because it took away the little pain for a little while. Sometimes, because other times it just made me feel more like. So, I very much contemplated suicide. And the only reason, honestly, that I did not go through with any of those suicidal ideations that I had was because of my niece and nephew and the thought that they would come in one day and find my body laid out somewhere. And I couldn't have that because I feel even if I took my own life, I wouldn't live with myself and my dead self knowing that they would ever have to see that or ever be like exposed. Sorry, I'm like kind of emotional about it because I love them so much, and I wouldn't want them to see me like that ever. Like I wouldn't want to put them through that trauma, so that kept me from not going there. So, but to alleviate the pressure, I did attempt to make little cuts. There are no evidences of it anywhere because they were so light and minute to see maybe this would alleviate what I felt, or what maybe this would help in the smallest way. This is going to be a really long video. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't intend for it to be this long, but it's going to be really long. But anyways, what got me out of that was actually an ex of mine's. He speaking to him and telling him what I was really going through, because I felt like I couldn't really tell anybody else, or like my friends or my family. Like I feel like I couldn't be that honest because I felt like I would be disappointing them and hurting them, and I couldn't take any further disappointment from out of anybody or feeling like I've hurt anyone else. Like I just couldn't do it. So I couldn't reveal that to them. I couldn't reveal how bad my struggle was when I was going through it at the moment, for the most part. So actually it was like one of my exes kind of became who is a relatively friend, kind of, but he became like a really good friend to me in that time, though we had broken up long before. But he called from time to time, and then I don't know what it was, and it just made me tell him, and he kind of was like, nah. He was like, that's not for you. You're not going to do that. And he really just gave me these words, and he made himself very available to me to talk to, and how I felt and what's the next steps and all of that. And then somewhere in there, I kept pleading to God. I'm not I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. So I kept pleading to God, whatever my God may look like. And I was just asking to be brought out of this because I said I can't take it no more. Because I'm in a space where I can't end it. And honestly, I probably didn't want to end it. And I'm in a space where I want better and I want to do better. And I don't know how, because I'm stuck in this depression that I can't get out of. All I want to do is sleep, or I'm an insomniac. It's one or the other. Then I don't want to eat. So I'm depriving my body of nutrients. All I'm doing is being a detriment to myself, and I needed to get out of that cycle. So this person who I would never have thought stepped back into my life and was that air that I needed, was that motivation that pushed me forward a little bit. And then the rest was me digging deep. I mean, so deep. Again, not overnight. Took months of talking myself back up into a person that saw any type of light, and really talking to God and trying to figure out what is it that I'm going to do. And I'm like, because I hate this place, not the place I was staying. I love my family, but I hated that I was in Philly. Like, nothing about it worked for me. And it also happened that I had a friend from college who also had moved out there. And so, from time to time, I spent some time with her. And then we talk, and we both realized we don't want to be here. We want to be back in New York. So we need to make moves to get back there. However we got to do it, we need to get back there, because that's where home is for us. That's where our roots are. Because this place ain't doing it for us. Because she was feeling down in the dumps too. But she was working and she was doing her thing or whatever. But she became one of my confidants down there as well. We grew just a little bit tighter. We were close before, but we grew a little bit tighter there too. So again, a second person that kind of, pushed it without even knowing they was pushing it, because they didn't even know the depths of what I was going through. So shout out to her as well, because they helped lift me up and out from where I was. Thank you, Jesus. Well, sorry, I don't really believe in Jesus like that. Not in the concept that, never mind. We'll get into that another time and point. But yeah, so that was like a huge bloop for me, and one of my worst depressions that would be probably number one. I would say the next one that came after, I lived in Florida. I gave up everything to be down here, and things did not work out the way intended, or I thought they would, and put me in a space with the person that I was with, and I almost lost it. I felt like I was losing me and losing myself, and I took measures to not all the way do something, but I took measures. I took some pills, but it was a hazy night. Let's just say that. Nothing where I ended up in the hospital, stomach pump, but it was just rough. It really was rough. And again, I realized I need to be around my support system and my people, because they literally, even if stuff is going bad here, I know at least I got somebody somewhere, even though it don't always feel like it. So I did end up homeless for like a few months out there, and that was difficult. And actually, you think I'd be super depressed about that, but actually I found me in that space. Living out of my car, I found me, and I was working 7 days a week. I was working overtime. I was getting like no care. I just was keeping myself preoccupied, and I found light in that darkest moment. Like, I found light in that rock bottom of having no roof over my head. Like, I tapped into my ancestors, into my spirituality even further, to realize the strength that I possess. And I was like, oh snap. What I thought would have took me way down brought me up. Like, I just had so much gratefulness, so much like so much like, and till this day I can't put words to that feeling of where that situation put me. Again, I ain't perfect, far from it, but that definitely put me in a good space. Like, who would have thought experiencing homelessness will put you in a space to make you feel good about yourself and like kind of love yourself even more, because now you just know you can overcome anything, because this don't define you. This situation don't define you. And I think that's what it was. I realized I got to a space where it's just like, I'm gonna be the flyest, and not in regards to like brand names, brand name things, but just in regards to me, like, I was like, damn, I'm gonna be a fly homeless person. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna let that determine where I am in life or what I'm going to be, because this is not the end of my journey. This is a pit stop, a very short pit stop, because I know I'm never going to let myself get to this space ever again. You heard? Ever again. So I made sure I did whatever I had to do. And I had the support of my dad, and I had support of my friends. Honestly, I don't even think much of my family, or I don't think any of my family, probably aside from my dad, knew I was homeless for like a couple months. Because I was embarrassed, I was ashamed. I made a choice to pursue something that didn't turn out the way I thought, and it ended in me being homeless. So, but I found me in that. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? But I found me in that, and ended up back in New York, and I was good. Of course, things happen. Like I said, you will always probably start heading in that space and heading down in that space, but it's up to you to find something to stop it in its tracks. And like I said, it could be a little thing. It could be a little thing. Anything. Find something to fixate on, sort of, and just have that be a fuel for you. Take it a day at a time. Take it a second at a time. Take it a minute at a time. 2 minutes at a time. An hour at a time. Whatever's gonna work for you. There is no answer key to this. There's no map. There's no guidelines. What I can just tell you is kind of what worked for me and helped me, right? And I would say my latest and next biggest like spout of depression occurred when I lost my baby. So I had a miscarriage a few months back, and I was happy, excited, all these things. But when the happening is that I lost it, and you couldn't tell me nothing. I was mad at God. I was mad at the Almighty. I was pissed. You couldn't tell me nothing, because I can understand why yet again are you destroying my life. You are taking away something that I wanted at the time. Why are you doing this to me? Is what I thought. I didn't care about the child's father, nothing. I just cared about the fact that you just ripped something from my body that you knew I wanted. I was like, oh, my dad's gonna get a grandkid. He's his first grandkid from me. He has others, but this would have been something special because I'm the last. So before he goes, he'd have a grandkid out of me. He'd, something that I know he would want to see. And I'm just like, all these things on the space that I went to was such a happy, peaceful space until it got ripped from me, literally ripped from my body. And I was upset. I was angry. I was sad. I got super depressed. And I've still been working on overcoming that. I'm not mad anymore. I'm not depressed like I was before. And thank you and shout out to my friends that knew and treaded lightly around me for a few weeks about certain things they may have said, because they have babies, or may found out and all that good stuff. But it was really trying for me, and to watch all these beautiful babies around me and people getting pregnant that I know, and all these wonderful things happening for everyone else, and engagements and the weddings. And I'm just sitting here like, so I still ain't got no good man. You finally gave me one thing that I wanted that I would have made work, and it would have been a blessing to me. And then you said, rip. I was like, again. But, I'm still figuring out what the purpose was. I mean, I can probably tell you some of the purposes, maybe not the person that it should have been with, or it could have been, you're not ready, not now. Or in hindsight, it could be that life isn't for you. You may have wanted it, but it's not a need for you because I got something bigger planned. So who knows? So right now, I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, do I really want to try and have a kid with someone obviously special? Or do I not want that really? Like, and it can seem very confusing because before when it happened, it's like, yeah, I really wanted it, it was great. But then after it happened, it got taken away. Do I want to put myself back in that position? Is this something I really want? Like, because I have been taking the time before that incident happened to evaluate my life and know that as a woman, I'm I'm a woman biologically, physiologically. I got everything. But there's this thing in society, and especially amongst women, where it's just like, it's almost like you're not a real woman until you have a kid. And, we've been, like I like to say it, brainwashed that we're supposed to always be mothers. We're supposed to be nurturing. We're supposed to be domesticated. We're supposed to be all this is what a woman is supposed to be, a female is supposed to do. And I've always gone against the grain because I'm like, that's not me. I was the tomboy. I wanted to play with the cars. I wanted to do everything a girl wasn't supposed to do. That was me. But I had an old school daddy who didn't believe in that. So I was very stifled in wanting to explore what was considered to be like boy stuff. But nonetheless, I really had to, or I am still really evaluating, is that what I want? Because I'm like, there are beautiful women out there like Tracee Ellis Ross, Gabrielle Union, even though she has tried. But to be comfortable within yourself to know if that doesn't happen or you can't have it like biologically, carrying it yourself and all of that, what are your options? And do you think any less of yourself if those things don't happen? Me, for one, I don't think any less of any woman who, one, doesn't want it or can't have it and gave up or whatever. It's your choice. There are so many children out here, trust me, because I work with kids where sometimes these parents don't want these kids or they've messed up these kids. So there are plenty of kids out here that need good homes and good families. And if you can't produce it, adopt. Or if you got the money to do the, the shots or in vitro, all that stuff, do it. And if you just don't want any, you are just as amazing because that is your choice. And it doesn't make you any less of a woman if you don't want to do those things. So I thought I should just put that out there because that is something I'm still grappling with about what I want, because I have encountered people who have children who want more and don't want more. So depending on which way I go is going to determine, my next steps in life. And it may affect who I may want to be with in the future. And if they would want to be with me, So I'm not going to say that I've completely tossed out the idea of wanting kids or, trying again. Absolutely not, because I haven't all the way made up my mind about what it is that I want to do. But I also haven't made up my mind that it's something that I don't want either. So I'm getting there. I'm working through it. I don't need to have my mind made up at this second. I am relatively young, and relatively old, all at the same time. But, and just people being okay with that choice. Trust me, I've had conversations with people, and some people like, oh no, that's really what you want, and some people like, oh, I don't want to hear, like they think I'm just spewing out stuff because of my bad experience or whatever. But these are things I've always thought about. So just for people knowing that, to have that support, whatever choices, whatever things you go in, that really helps with depression, is having some form of support system. Also, what I should have also done was get a therapist, someone to talk to that is not related to me, not a friend, nothing, just outside, but get someone to help me put myself back on track, because I think it really is essential, especially when you find yourself in all these bouts of depression. There's obviously something, I'm not going to say chemically wrong because I don't know, I can't diagnose something like that, but there's something wrong and there's something that needs to be worked on, and maybe it's going to need a professional to help you to get to that space. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's this taboo, especially in Caribbean, the Caribbean culture. Oh, if you talk to somebody, something wrong with you, or it's bad. It's just a lot of stuff that be ridiculous. It's a mental thing. It's mental. So go talk to somebody, psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever, and they can help you. But like I said, it's so essential to have the right set of people around you with a positive energy that encases you in positivity and support, because that really is important with anything that you're going through in life, whether it's good or bad. And they might not always tell you the right words, but you have to know that their hearts are in the right place, and it's okay to reach out to them. Sometimes they're going through their own stuff, and sometimes the best way to distract somebody from something else that's getting to them is to hear about somebody else, and then they can sometimes divert their focus from what they thought was the worst thing or whatever's going on in their life to know now they're being called upon to help somebody. They're needed, and now because they're needed, they're going to be all in there for you, and vice versa. So I mean, this is super longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was probably going to be like 10 minutes. This has turned into like a 40-something minute thing. If you watch the whole thing, amazing. If you don't, I can understand. It's very long. But I think I gave some great content to things. But hopefully that helps in just the slightest. You could talk to me personally on here. However, tell me your story. Share if you want me to talk more about something else that I've spoken about. Let me know that too. I'm willing to do that. I'm trying to be as transparent with you guys as possible. Obviously, I ain't gonna tell you everything, but I'm gonna tell you enough to let you guys know that I'm real. What I go through is real. What I've been through is real, and I'm managing to make it. Managing to make it. Every day is a choice that I'm gonna find something good. I'm going to be happy in one little way or another, that I see more for myself, that I have a purpose. Even if I don't know what it is now, it's there. It's waiting for me to come and get it, grab at it. And so that I'm going to do. There are things I still want to do that I have not yet done, and I've been slacking on, but I am working towards it. So just know, I may not be a top-selling author, I may not be this motivational speaker, whatever, but there is a purpose that I have, and I'm still on my way to achieving it. So y'all better go chase y'all too. Everybody better go chase it. Everybody need a win. All right? TNG Nubian Princess here is telling you it's your time to shine. It's your time to win. It's your time to own it. Okay? Know that you are loved, that you are beautiful, that you are smart. There is no one else like you. Do you understand me? No one. There is only one you. One. No replicas. So live in that truth. Live in that truth that there is no one that can do what you do, how you do it. There might be similarities, might come close, but it ain't you, right? No one can be you. So live in that and revel in there. Okay? Love you guys. I will come back to you with another topic that you either want to feed me or I'm just going to spew at you. But I'm done. I'm going to cut this off at 45 minutes. You hear me? 45 minutes. This is super long. Anyway, love you guys. Good night. Oh, do you guys like the new hat?